Hi, welcome to Adhvaitha. Before we start this journey, I'll just take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Sujin Shetty. I'm an architect from India. I'm also involved in many businesses. Coming to the purpose of this channel, from a long time I've been interested in a lot of things. I've been interested in spirituality, I've been interested in science, in personal development, and I've been studying these subjects for a very long time. And I've always been meaning to compile all the things that I've learned and document it somewhere, and this is a way of me doing that. And through all this, if I'm able to help someone through whatever I've learned so far, I'm happy. The fundamental reason for this channel is to talk about spiritual sciences and personal developments in the perspective of Eastern knowledge. So there's a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of authors and a lot of speakers talking about personal development, talking about law of attraction, talking about all this metaphysics. But a lot of people think, especially in the Western countries, a lot of people think that these are the things that were discovered or were found out very recently in the 90s or in the 1800s. But it's absolutely not true. In fact, the ancient Hindu culture speaks about these things, about metaphysics, about law of attraction and law of vibration in its own way, the law of karma in its own way. Teachings are there from thousands of years. It's just that we have ignored the knowledge coming from some parts of the world while giving extreme amount of importance to knowledge coming from some other parts of the world. So this is what has caused this gap. There is a gold mine of knowledge and wisdom that we can see in the ancient scriptures of India, from Vedas to Upanishads, and a lot of scriptures are there. And if we dig deep into them, I think a lot of problems that we are facing in this world today can be solved in terms of personal development, in terms of climate, in terms of economy. So whatever area you take, if we go and look at the past, because history repeats, as they say, and whatever had happened, right, it has already been studied and documented in detail by the ancient rishis of India. And if we go there and if we take some time and study those scriptures, I think all of our problems can be solved. This channel, Adhvaitha, is my way of doing my own research on the knowledge of ancient India, documenting it and sharing it as videos on YouTube. So this is a passion of mine. I've been meaning to come and do this for a very long time, but I've not been able to do it because of all my other engagements and works. But I'm happy that I'm finally here. So let's now directly come to today's topic, right? Before we start and go anywhere, there are some fundamental things that we need to understand. So whatever I speak in this channel, I'll try to balance it out with science. Without giving a scientific view, I think the knowledge becomes very vague and unacceptable to a lot of people. So let's look at it from the perspective of science. What is science saying today? If we look at quantum physics, it says that everything is energy, right? Everything in its fundamental nature is energy. This is a very basic premise of Vedanta. The entire universe is fundamentally made of one thing, but when we give it a name, it becomes very distorted because of our definitions and because of the structure of our languages. We distort things. Traditionally, they call it Brahman, this energy field that is within us, that is around us, that is prevalent everywhere. They call it Brahman, they call it Sath-Chit-Ananda. So there are various terminologies that are used in the ancient scriptures to describe this. In the modern language, we call it ether, the etheric force. That is the fundamental force that is within everything, that makes up everything. So this is a basic premise that we need to come to. Right? To go any further, we need to understand that everything in this universe is fundamentally a same force or same element which is expressed in mutations in a billion different ways or a trillion different ways. The planets, the galaxies, the earth, the fire, water, me, you, all these things are fundamentally coming from a same thing. So after that, let's come to you, right? Let's come to a person. What makes a person a person? A person is just a word that we use in a language. Apart from our physicality that we have, what we are is accumulation of data. Each person is just a large amount of data coming together and being integrated at different dimensions and different levels, which in turn somehow makes a person. We don't understand it in depth. Like when I say we in the modern era don't understand it, but when we talk about our ancient rishis and sages, they understood everything to its depth. They didn't leave anything out. There is a fundamental force, and then there is a manifestation of the fundamental force. What the scripture calls it is Sath-Chit-Ananda. It's not just a name, it's a description of what that fundamental force is, right? Sat means good, Chit means intelligence or pure intelligence, Ananda means bliss, So the fundamental nature of the universe is such that it is eternally blissful, it is purely intelligent, and it is all good. So these are the qualities of the fundamental force that we call the universe. So let's call it SCA. So SCA force is the fundamental force of the universe. The more closer to this you are as a person, the more spiritually evolved you are. If you look at yourself, if you look at your own personality, the more blissful, the more intelligent, and the more good you are, the more closer you are to the fundamental force, and the more you live your life without any friction. The farther you are from the fundamental force, the more friction that you experience in a day-to-day life. There is a tremendous amount of data that you have gathered. So all this data together will form a memory. So all the data points that we have gathered through the physical evolution, through our various lifetimes, and everything all together makes a complex web of memory. And every decision that we make and every action that we take will happen through this, through the data points that we have gathered. So the entire memory that we have gathered so far is unconscious, right? We are not conscious about it, but it is integrated in our system at a very deeper level, but we are not yet conscious about it. We tend to believe that we have control of our lives, but our decisions, our actions, everything is coming from a place of conditioning. It's just that we are unconscious about it, and we think that we are doing it consciously. We think that we have control. To have that control over our lives, we need to be conscious. This is the ultimate goal for anybody. It's not just for me, it's not just for you, it's for anybody. The ultimate goal is to be conscious. A lot of importance is given to this goal in the Eastern, especially in the Indian culture. So whether you call it enlightenment, whether you call it awakening, so what that means is you have come out of this web of memory. Nobody is controlling you. No memory is controlling you. No conditioning is controlling you. So you are now a conscious being, and you are one with that eternal force. You're close to that, or you have coincided with that, and the other accumulations and the other conditioning has no effect over you. That is when one is called awakened or conscious. And once you go to that state, right, you get access to the universal intelligence. Once you get access to that pure intelligence, then everything that you seek comes to you, and everything that you want to know, you will know. You would have access to that fundamental force, and that fundamental force, it is an ocean of knowledge.